All right, so first tournament of the season is done. Finally, got to get out and play some competitive golf. Been waiting for months, it seems like. Good to get the juices flowing, good to get out there and really test my game. I knew it wasn't gonna be my A game. I knew that, I mentioned that in my previous video, and that held true. I didn't have my A game, nowhere close to it. But we grinded, and I'm proud of how I grinded out there, considering the elements. Apologies, first off, I don't really have any footage to show you from these rounds from this tournament because of the weather. It was raining, it was windy, it was cold. First round, I think it was in the high 40s. Second round was in the low 40s. Both days were rainy and windy. So yeah, not really conducive for getting the camera out and everything. So unfortunately, I don't have any footage, but I'll talk you through kind of what happened here. First round being played at Shepherd's Crook, which is a course that I'd played before, had some familiarity with, and it couldn't have started off any worse than it did. Backing up a little bit, first tee, nerves, right? The only place where I feel nervous is first tee in a competition. The heart starts beating, and it's a weird feeling. It's just a weird feeling. No matter how many times I play in a competitive tournament, I always just first tee is just nuts. But I ended up piping the drive. It went like 280 yards, right side of the fairway. Just a beautiful drive. Couldn't have asked for anything more than that. Had about maybe like 35, 40 yards to the pin, which was a perfect distance for my stock, a little 60-degree kind of pitch shot that I've been working on with all my wedges, pretty much all winter, all spring, kind of leading up to this. I was confident that I could hit this wedge close, give myself a look at birdie, but that didn't happen. I bladed it. I bladed a wedge shot that I'd been working on for so long, I felt confident with. I bladed it. Looking back at the moment, I probably should have recognized that I still had a little bit of jitters and nervousness in my hands from that first tee. My first tee nerves kind of linger through the first hole, but then after that they go away completely. So I still had some lingering effects from the tee box, and so I probably should have recognized that and maybe played more of like a 7 or 8 iron kind of bump and run up to the green, just get it on the green, not worry about kind of higher lofted clubs right away. I ended up hitting those stock wedge shots fine the rest of the round, the rest of the tournament for that matter. But that moment, that first tee or that first hole, first round, jitters in my hands, probably not the time to get cute or play a high lofted wedge shot. But I did, and I bladed it, and then I ended up like 3-putting and double bogeyed the first hole, which it's not the end of the world, right? Jon Rahm, he 4-putted, double bogeyed his first hole of the Masters this year, in which he went on and won. So you can come back from it. You can come back from it. I'm not Jon Rahm though, unfortunately. Now, I will say though, it was a little tough, that front 9. I couldn't get the speeds, the greens down. Like, they were running quick, despite all the rain that we had. Not having a practice green there, because it's under construction right now, didn't help. Couldn't really get a read or pacing before the round. I just kind of had to basically wing it for the first 9 holes, or first how many holes before he should have the pacing down. Short game for that front 9 was just atrocious. I ended up double bogeying every single hole on that front 9 except for one. The third hole I parred, but 8 of the 9 holes I double bogeyed. I don't think I've ever done that before. I don't remember ever doing that before. It was kind of comical. Like, I just can't stop this string of double bogeys, and it's all because I had zero confidence around the green. My putter, my wedges, or just anything around the green, I was like, I can't get this ball into the hole. The hole looks so small on that front 9. It was weird. It's like, are these actually regulation size? I'm serious. I'm dead serious. They looked so small. I had zero confidence on that front 9. I ended up shooting a 51. Terrible start to this tournament. Terrible start to the round. I didn't even lose a ball. I didn't even have a penalty stroke. Like, that's how bad it was. It was rough. It was rough. Back nine was better. Ended up shooting a 45 on the back nine. It wasn't great, obviously, but it was better, and finished with a 96 for the first round, which was disappointing because it was a course I knew, I had familiarity with, I'd played before, and I just shot myself in the foot. I just shot myself in the foot around the greens like all day long. Heading into the second round, I think I was tied for 10th out of 14 golfers in my flight. Sunday, playing at Thunderhawk, a course I hadn't played before, wasn't familiar with, and the weather was worse. The weather was raining, it was windy, like gusts of wind, cold, it was low 40s. It was pretty miserable. Truth be told, it was miserable. I didn't have a whole lot of confidence after the first round. On the practice range, really wasn't hitting the ball all that well. Putting green, at least I had a putting green, so pace, I was able to get down. The greens were a bit slower on Sunday, not as much undulation, so I think that helped for sure. Once again, started with the double bogey on the first hole. Then halfway through the second hole, it was a par 5, number 2. Halfway through it, my umbrella on my push cart broke from the gusts of wind, just broke. So now I have no shelter from the elements now. And at that moment I'm thinking, like, do I even continue? Because we're not even 2 holes in, and this is going to be absolutely miserable experience, especially if I do what I did on Saturday and just double bogey basically every hole. Ended up shooting a 44 on the front with a birdie on number 8. Almost drove the green on that hole. It was a short hole, but hit I wouldn't say it was a great driver. It was kind of more of a line driver, but got over the marsh. It was an aggressive line and got up right close to the green, hit a little bump and run up to the pin, and hit a 3-footer for my birdie. So that was nice. And then on the back nine, I ended up shooting a 46, and that included a snowman on 18. I made so many mistakes this entire tournament from good positions. Like on 18, for example, great drive, and then just laying up, I just straight up pulled my 5-iron into the woods. Yeah, and it just kind of cascaded from there. But yeah, it just tough. But yeah, so I ended up shooting a 90 in the second round on Sunday, which once again, that included an 8, a snowman on 18. So it could have easily been, an 88. Mid-high 80s, like that's kind of my target zone of where I expect to kind of shoot. So I wasn't really far off, and considering the weather, like I'm pretty happy, I'm pretty proud with how I ground out that round. Tough round, tough tournament, tough 2 days, but thanks to my second round, I ended up finishing tied 4th and just 1 shot out of the money. That's where the snowman on 18 really gets me a little bit. I should have been in the money, but oh well. Some positives, things to work on though. Once again, first tournament of the season, trying to figure out how my game was. I now know where it's at. And we have a couple more tournaments, including the next one this upcoming weekend. So we're gonna be right back at it. Hopefully I'll have some actual footage from the next tournaments because the weather won't be as awful as they were this past weekend. So once again, apologies about that, but it is what it is. Anyhow, thank you so much for watching this episode. Hope you enjoyed this look into how I'm doing on my road to the Zelich, the road to the standard of golf I want to be playing at this year and peaking for at the Zelich. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate that as always. But most importantly, stay safe, make good decisions, and keep on hitting them straight.